Reading from the book of Isaiah 26:1-6. On that day, this song will be sung in the land of Judah. We have a strong city. The Lord has set up a wall of salvation for us. Open the gates that the righteous nation may enter, the nation that keeps faith. You keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you. Trust in the Lord forever, for the Lord God is an everlasting rock. Reflection. This passage from Isaiah presents the image of a strong city protected by the wall of salvation from the Lord. Trust in God is highlighted as the source of peace and stability. The call to open the gates for the righteous nation emphasizes that justice and faithfulness are welcomed in the divine presence. Psalm 117, 1:8, 9, 19, 21, 25, 27a. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in humans. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in princes. Open for me the gates of the righteous. I will enter and give thanks to the Lord. Reflection. The psalm emphasizes the goodness and enduring love of the Lord. The comparison between taking refuge in God rather than trusting in humans or human leaders underscores the superiority of trusting in the divine. The call to open the gates of righteousness reveals the connection between thanksgiving and victory that comes from trusting in God. Reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew 7:21, 24, 27. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house. Yet it did not fall because it had its foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell with a great crash. Reflection. Jesus warns us about the importance of action in spiritual life. Proclaiming faith alone is not enough. True entry into the kingdom of heaven comes through doing the divine will. The parable of the two houses, deep reflection. These biblical passages converge on the central theme of trusting in God, building on solid foundations and recognizing the importance of action in our spiritual life. The image of the strong city in Isaiah urges us to trust in divine strength, open our gates to justice, and live in peace. The psalm highlights God's eternal mercy and the wisdom of taking refuge in him, rather than relying on human trust. Matthew's gospel calls us not only to proclaim our faith, but to actively live it, constructing our lives on the unshakable rock of obedience to Jesus' teachings. Collectively, these passages invite us to reflect on the quality of our faith and the firmness of our spiritual foundation. Are we building our lives on the solid rock of obedience and trust in God, or are we constructing on the sand of empty words? The strength of our decisions and actions determines the solidity of our spiritual construction. May this reflection inspire us to be wise builders, to trust in the everlasting rock, and to live according to God's will, so that when the storms of life come, our lives remain firm and secure, built on the unbreakable rock that is Christ.